Yes. Welcome to Max Hawaii. Like, subscribe, thank you, and welcome new subscribers. You're so wonderful. This is the newspaper pot. We're going to look at the news for today, which is Sunday, October 4th. It's already Halloween month. Shut up, Margoosh. Ah. Well, I'll just read it. You get your coffee. I'll be right here. Doing instant lately. Alright. I know I'm forgetting something and I don't know what it is. But like, subscribe, check out the other series. Just did a real long one, Spook 101, right? Talk about a big wide delve into the Exorcist thing. But there's a why behind that material. And that explains the why. And so I can have all that in one place. So, to keep it in one place. Yeah, it looks like they are. This instant is horrible. Kathy. Looks like we have a headline. Economists anticipate Hawaii's shrinking population because we're dying on an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, with decline further due to COVID. I think people are leaving? Anyways, so here's our headline for today. Bidding Aloha. The sad Aloha. I did the headline. This is for the thumbnail. I did the thumbnail thing for the other day. I was cracking up. So many things were going wrong. Trump catch the coronavirus. If he really did catch it. Now that thought is in my mind. I'm sure, yeah, I'm just going to trust that at face value. I'm going to go there. But here he is. He can't test positive for the flu. And I'm showing the headline like, I'm like, oh God. That is bad. What do you call it? Juxtaposition. There's your vocab word for the day. Thank you. Thank you. You can all go home now. It's been good. It's been real. Let's be real good. Okay, bidding Aloha. Apparently, it looks like 7 weeks ago, Emma Daly bid Aloha to Hawaii, her lifelong home, in search of work. Ah, that's it. You know, I've seen this stuff before. It goes like this. Marcus Max takes a cup of drink of, this is just watered down horrible. This is just, police officers here. They get trained here. They do their stuff, their rookie stuff here. Don't do carrot. And then the fully trained police officer leaves here because there's a better paying job in like Seattle. And we kept losing police officers like by the truckloads. And Hawaii's like, what the heck? And that's the very first reason for the police officers getting a big pay raise here. They're just, we'll pay them, we'll bribe them. And they can only go so far with that. So apparently, UH economists recently projected in their report that the state will see a net population loss of 19,000 people over the next 2 years. And that's a big guesstimation. Such an exodus could also prove worse under alternative or more pessimistic. Okay, I don't want a UH forecast. Come on, get right. The prez is pause. We're off to see the Prez, the wonderful Prez of Paz. He's Prez, he's Paz, he's Prez, he's Paz, he's Prez, he's Paz, he's Paz. He's positive for the horrible virus. And I've gone insane. President Donald Trump went through a very concerning, in quotes, period Friday and faces a, quote, critical, unquote, next 2 days in his fight against Corona-19 at the military hospital, his chief of staff said. In contrast to a rosier assessment moments earlier by Trump's doctors. See, that's what we're fearing, this filter of BS, who took pains not to reveal the president had received supplemental oxygen and whatnot. God, the guy's like, what, 70? You go into any hospital situation, they're going to stick one of those cannulas up your nose. You don't know. Offered his own set of gloves and officers, I guess, we're still not clearing that. Yeah, and this was nerve pain. The rest of that's like probably not very, very interesting. We have a total number of cases of 133. Isn't that wonderful? That's fantastic. Looks like tier 1 forever. It's just like songs. Turned into a songwriter. Tears on my face and tears every place, but it's tier 1 forever now. Just like that, man. I tell you, then all you have to do is copyright it and make sure if anyone tries to steal tier 1s forever, sue them on. Copyright. Just when Oahu Rail can't get any worse, it always does. Of course. Oahu Rail is like multi-billion dollar. It shouldn't be that much. But they kept making these horrible mistakes by they get a little money, so they send the contract that way, and that particular contractor costs more, and it's sort of questionable whether a giant load of money is really being used. I didn't say that. I have no further opinion. Billions of dollars, and people disappear. The best way to describe I don't want to be like that. $9.2 billion debacle is to take liberty with Bob Dylan's title and call it Tangled Up in Poo. This guy is an obviously humor columnist, but Bob Dylan's song? Tangled Up in, I guess you, but Tangled Up in Poo? Oh God, when will we stop using the word poo? You know Eeyore? It's always gonna happen. Within a few days, director, okay, this guy has like because he's like every once a week. Let's see, they have like little, this should be good, huh? You're gonna waste a little time on this. It's an opportunity to spend some time with this. Directors of Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation deadlock on whether to fire CEO Andrew Robbins when his contract ends in December, leaving him in limbo as the board lacks the votes to either dump him or renew his deal. Is this like funny? I'm not sure. This just came in. Mayor Kurt Caldwell withdrew the city from a proposed public-private partnership to finish the final 4 miles of the rail from Middle Street to Ala Center, throwing plans for that troubled segment back to square one. Because that's the big thing. It starts way over on the West Coast, which isn't that far, but when it comes to traffic, you'll be in a deadlock route. It's the Waianae Coast. It's like that way. It's all the way. Sunsets in the west. Now you go from the Waianae Coast into town. First there's Pearl Harbor in downtown, and then a little later, right after that, is like the Pearl Harbor, and then Pearl Harbor again. Tour, we can't get enough of Pearl Harbor. And then there's Aloha Shopping Center, big kind of touristy, and right after that there's like Waikiki, and then Kapiolani Park, and then Diamond Head, and you're right here. Oh my God, now you know where I live. But they went from West Coast all the way up to like, this kind of obscure place. So you take the train, if it's all finished, you take the train, you get off the train, it's like, you're still far from where you gotta go. Last 4 miles. And this is where they're gonna get all desperate for money and the scams and the BS's. The Caldwell administration also refused Hart's request for variances to bury utility lines along Dillingham Boulevard, halting work and particularly delaying full opening of the system. Originally scheduled for last year until the 2030s. Wow. So, I'm not sure if I'll be alive in that. I'm not quite sure. Never know. We are in the future, and only God knows. Tomorrow's never promised. Hard accountants project the coronavirus recession plus there's the devil. See my Spook 101. That stuff's dangerous. Then, not to mention shifting. This is Commonwealth States law prohibits it from. Well, that's just one big political mess. Mayoral candidates Keith and Rick, and that's all they're going to get right now. Supposed to support finishing the rail to Ala Moana, but owe us more specific answers on how they'll address obviously funding shortage in measuring crisis. It needs to go to Ala Moana. That's kind of for sure. But now it's like, who's going to get pumpkined out of the big money for that? Oh God, I should have. I brought my watch so I could time myself. Fall foliage. Man, I actually tried the defraud program. California Medicaid 5 years ago defrauding several local government states. Tried to steal $22 million from Paycheck. Some guy in California, $22 million from the Paycheck Protection Program. Attila Collar, 48, of Richmond, goes by several aliases, including Dahoud Sharif Bey. What kind of name is that? $22 million. Wow, man, there's a contest going on about how much you can defraud the PPP. GOP pushes hearings not work in Senate. So, they're so scared of the virus in the Senate that they don't want to go to work. They're going, hey, clear the floor, nothing on the docket, nothing on the docket, except one thing. We're going to have approval hearings for the Supreme Court nomination. They do want that, so they'll brave the virus for that. Supreme Court starts one Justice Short. That's good. These guys. And he doesn't have a fever today. Thank you. People leaving for a better job. Oh, I gotta get a job on mainland. Minority reports vaccinated. Ban imposing one. I took a glancey at this one. Apparently, in Sacramento, California, in those wilderness areas, they have this creature, and it's running wild. It's all over the place. They're called rats. That's right. Rats. So, what they do is they find out that this chemical called secondhand smoke from marijuana. No. It's called I'm not against marijuana. Second generation anticoagulant rodenticides. In case you're taking sides. Secondary generation anticoagulant. Man. Yeah. Anticoagulant. Now, if my mom remembers, that means coagulate is when your blood stops bleeding, coagulates to stop. So if it's anticoagulant, they bleed to death eternally in hell. They bleed to death inside from their rotate. Now what happens is 9 out of every dead mountain lions and other animals, I guess, are polecats or bobcats or whatever, those kind of animals out there, the nice forest animals that they want to keep. They're eating the dead rats, and they're getting poisoned. Man, I remember in Australia, I went and visited there, actually twice. Down under, I went and visited tourists. They say terrorist. Their accent, the tourist is terrorist. Here comes more terrorists. Where? There's a bunch of tourists coming off the bus. Terrorist. And there's a history of Sydney. And Sydney is a seaport. And in the 18, that's how they say 18, 1800s is 1830, 1840, and 1830, 1818. So in the 1800s, there's a bunch of rats. They came over on the ships. And then they started going around the city, which is like 1800s. If you think of America in the 1800s, it's very similar. So seaport, think of like San Francisco in the 1800s. That would be like Sydney in the 1800s. No kidding. The parallel history is uncanny. So they got this poison to sell to the people so they could kill all the rats. Because rats are everywhere, rats are everywhere. Well, guess what happened? All of a sudden, people started dying. Boy, talking about safety precautions. It wasn't safety precautions. They didn't figure this one out. They were ex-boyfriends. The abusive husband. The unwanted people. Because people would buy the rat poison and poison them. And it was so rampant. It was incredible. There's one lady, they picked up this one lady who was like the mass poisoner. She poisoned a bunch of like cupcakes or whatever. It went to the church bake sale and poisoned all the church people in the church. Holy crap. Guilty. Only the obvious. Okay. The iconic statue of David gets a 3D lookalike. Apparently they use the most advanced technologies available to 3D print an exact copy of the 17-foot statue. I've already done that. This little guy is. Don't get me banned. It's just a little statue. YouTube might have a problem with that. Put on some pants. The risks I take, eh? For the past 5 centuries, 500 years, Michelangelo Buonarroti's David has been celebrated for the most sculptural perfection and its embodiment of beautiful beauty and strength. I've seen some of Michelangelo's statues. They really are jaw-dropping, incredible. So I just was like, how the hell did he do that? And they're bigger than people, so they're like originally larger than life. But it is wow. If you see them, it's like seeing a postcard of the Grand Canyon and then being at the edge of the Grand Canyon. There's a difference. So apparently this one is 17 feet high. You can see the replica already in Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, where virtues go to die. Not like my channel where humor goes to die. Italian engineers describe the most advanced technologies available today. Exact print? Print? It's like 3D printers? So they're going to get a 17-foot 3D computer printout. The replica will be the centerpiece of Italy Pavilion Next World Fair Expo 2020 Dubai. So this little guy, 17 foot of him, so he's the whole package. Well, his whole package is going to be, I don't know, equivalent to 17 foot high. That's, I don't know, they got little ones, they do the statues. Big was ugly and little was cute. I don't know. The technology tied to historical memory, future memory, history and innovation are those themes that interest us. Yeah, well, David is a famous Renaissance statue. Okay, for you, and this is like a long article. Okay. You know, I'm sorry, but I looked for letters to the editor, and it's not in this edition. I searched the world. Actually, I searched the whole paper, and I couldn't find the letters to the editor. I don't know what's going on. I'm so confused. Now I can't. I was looking forward to it. Well, serenity to accept. Serenity now, serenity now, serenity now. Coffee. But above all, oh God, that's still horrible. Above all, it's been copied repeatedly. One of the final, Wikipedia, the most replicated statue. There's one in Uruguay, and one in Queensland, Australia, and one in downtown Sioux Falls. They don't mention the one in Caesar's Palace. It's life size. So you go up to, you walk through Caesar's Palace. It's like, oh, okay, this is a, don't stand too close. It's a bad angle. And the 3D printed David is only copied the museum as authorized since Hollenberg won the copyright battle. Copyright battle over the statue? Yeah. People, how do they do that? Michelangelo's rolling in his grave so he could be on his back and paint the inside of the ceiling of the coffin. 20 years ago, Italian reproduction, but using laser scanners, yeah, we figured that. Freaking largest 3D printer in the world, that's the thing. 17-foot statue, largest 3D printed statue. What else they got to print? Makes you wonder. Okay, we come flu season, so we get the double dose. I'm not sure if I didn't set my alarm. Excuse me, just 1 second. Pardon for the interruption. Oh. Well, isn't that good to know? I cheated. I peeked at the timer in the back of the camera. Tick-tock. Who you looking at? Stop judging me! Okay. Flu clinic provides shot in the arm. Oh, so they're gonna have a drive-through shooting. Drive-through and get shot. The flu shot. So all you violent people, back down. Stand down! No, I'm not against violence. Unless it's against me, then it's game over. Isn't that always the case? Everyone's against violence. It's like, thou shalt not kill. Except when, speaking of statues, he did the Moses statue, right? Ten Commandments. And Michelangelo was very religious guy, actually. When you look at his stuff, he was so trying to be part of it. He was so pushing himself to be perfect that way. He was kind of troubled in that sense. But anyways, he did the big Moses statues, huge. Moses, Ten Commandments. Every single one of those Ten Commandments. Okay, so they're do nots from God. So do not do this, do not do that. And then every single one of them people will have, except for thou shalt not commit adultery, except when we got divorce card. Do not do this, except when we need to. Do not steal, except when it's PPP program. Okay, what's the big cute? I didn't even look at the clock. Have you gotten the flu shot this season? 69%. Yes, all set. That's right. Ain't messing around with that. I don't think people in Hawaii want to mess around with this thing. They're not like, I don't. Some are, but not. 21%, not yet, but will soon. 10%, no, don't plan to. Well, and due to my first Spanish lady. Traveling to do my ladies of Spain. Movie theaters among opening, allowing Tuesday. For we've received orders for to sail off to Boston. And that's it. And so no more we see you again. Yeah. It's a big shark. Swallow you whole. Little shaking. Little seasoning. And down you go. I'll find him for 5. If I catch him, kill him for 10. Put all your businesses back on a paying basis. Aloha, hang loose, hang loose.